Well, good afternoon, South Africa, and welcome to Hump Day right here on Afternoon Express. I am so excited, and you should be too, because today I get to interview one of the characters from SABC television that everybody loves to hate. Jo Da Silva, who plays Gita from Laan, is right here in our loft today. She's recently announced that she's going to be leaving the cast of Laan, so I'm looking forward to finding out more about what she's got planned. But it doesn't stop there. This lady is a single mother. She's raised a daughter all on her own. Plus, she's a cancer survivor. And so she's got a really incredible story to tell, and I can't wait to share it with you later on the show. But I also want to know if you are a mother who's raised a child single-handedly. I want to hear from you. So if you can give me a call right now, 083-913-3728. I'd love for you to share your story with us on the show today. So that number again, 083-913-3728. So we can hear from you. If you're a single mother, call us right now. Then also, Bonnie today on the show is going to be chatting to Dr. Chamendran and Bonnie, because I know it's winter, and even though all the Capetonians themselves are trying to deny it with everything that they've got, it is winter, and he'll be teaching us more about how to look after our wellness during this winter season. And then for Winner Home on Afternoon Express today, we are very excited because our design contestants sit down with their mentors, plus we take a look at another incredible home that you can maybe call your brand new home soon, very, very soon, if we look at an investment piece. Also joining us in the kitchen today, my friend, brother from another mother. We're going to be making something super delicious in the loft today. It is a no-bake cheesecake, but it's not only just a no-bake cheesecake, it's also a
black and white no-bake cheesecake.
That's it, that's it, that's it.
It represents me and you and me.
I'm going to say nothing. BCCSA. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so we're making something super delicious. What I love about this dish is it's so simple to make. So if you guys want to join us on the show today and make everything we make on Afternoon Express, go and find the recipe on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Now, it's time for our first interview on the show, and her feisty character, Gita, on Laan has had us on the edge of our seats every weeknight. And she's definitely the character that everybody loves to hate, as I mentioned. But now, Jo Da Silva is ready to hang up her Laan shoes and is looking forward to life after Gita.
Ek is jou biologiese ma. Jy het 'n merkwaardige dogter. Ons het so lekker gesels vanoggend. Ek sou nooit kon raai julle is familie nie. Jy is so blond.
O, sy is deur en deur 'n wel man.
Sê my dan wie is my pa? En geen games nie.
Jy glo my.
Wie is hy, Gita?
Hy leef nie meer nie. Hy was 'n aaklige verskoning van 'n man.
'n Naam, ek wil weet.
Ek sal jou sê. Op een voorwaarde. Jy kry my naam skoon by die polisie. Hoe kan jy my wil straf vir iets wat jy gedoen het veral nou? Al wat ek wil hê is die kans om die stukke weer op te tel. Het jy enige idee in wat 'n nagmerrie jy my lewe verander het?
Dit was die plan.
Ek het genoeg gesafetaai. My geld is basies op. Ek kan nie meer nie, asseblief.
Wow, 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 wow. What a manipulator, but we love her all the same. Jo Da Silva, welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you so much for having me. Drama.
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 It was so funny. I just tweeted out before the show that I was going to be chatting to you today, and a whole bunch of my fans were responding to the conversation, and one of them said, I hate her, but I hope she's a much better person in real life. So we're going to unpack that today. I'm really excited.
Welcome to my world.
So Jo, obviously the new announcement of having left the cast of Laan has broken so many of the fans' hearts. They love you with everything they've got because they love to hate you. But what was the real reason behind wanting to leave such a beautiful career?
Well, I haven't left my career.
Yeah, well, just at
I've simply
Laan.
changed characters for a while. It was a confluence of things. You know, you get to a point in life where all sorts of things come together and it's time to change, and you realize that perhaps the comfort zone is actually a rut, and that it's time for something new. And my daughter had recently moved to Cape Town and wanted to start studying at UCT. And I thought to myself, well, she's brave and adventurous and beginning again. Why the hell don't you?
Exactly. And it's very exciting to hear somebody that has been through the industry for so long and has done such incredible work in that space actually come to a point in themselves personally to say, you know what, it is time. It is a rut now, and it's time for me to go and explore something new. And we'll talk a bit about your theatre experience and your love for the stage a little bit later, because I'm hoping to see more of you in those spaces. But let's turn back to this character of Gita and just reminisce for a bit, because she is such a villain. I mean, she really is. And I'm sure your fans must really struggle to separate you personally and your character. Have there been moments in the public where you found that people have just not understood the difference between your character and yourself and have treated you like, and made you feel terrible?
Yes, they are the best of times and the worst of times. I think she's very difficult to love, to hate, and she's very difficult to separate.
Yeah.
And people either feel they feel very, very strongly about her. And the problem with her is that they do fail to see that I am a completely different human being. That she is a character, she is make-believe, she is not real. Thank the Lord she is not real. And so when they see me in public, they react to me as though I'm Gita, and that can sometimes be very difficult. There's not much acknowledgement of a private space. There are obviously those fans who are marvellous and who come up to me and go, Jo, hi, we just want to say, love your work, fabulous to meet you. But when the first thing out of someone's mouth is how much they hate you, or why are you such a... Don't say that word.
Not on family TV.
Yeah, that's a bit difficult to deal with, sort of 5, 6, 7 times a day.
Yeah.
It becomes a little hectic.
It's funny because you would have thought that all the rappers would have hated all the negativity online, but it seems like also soap actors get the same thing, especially if you're playing like a villain. And recently on our Afternoon Express social accounts, we asked people what their favourite moments and memories were of you. And one from Yana Watt says, I don't have a favourite moment because every scene with her was my favourite. She'll be missed on the small screen. For Jo, my favourite moment was meeting her twice. That was a moment I won't forget. I walked away blessed by memories I will treasure always in my heart, and I love you, Jo. She also sent us a beautiful picture, which we can have a look at. I'd love you to see this photo, just of how you met her and she shared her thoughts.
I remember Yana so well.
Sure.
It's one of the die-hard loyals.
Awesome.
Hello, sweetheart. Just for you.
Yana, thanks so much for your comments that came through. If anyone else wants to go and continue to share those, you're welcome to. Christine Timotheus, I think is how you pronounce it, also sent us a message that says, Gita, leaving 7 de Laan, it can be great news, but on the other hand, not good news. I will surely miss all of her scheming. There were times where I wanted to go into the TV and just clap her. And then there were times when you wanted to cry with her. I love and hate you, Gita, just for your role. It's interesting.
That's what she did. That was the complication of Gita. That was also the delight in playing her, was that she was never a two-dimensional cardboard cutout of evil. Dani had specifically wanted to create someone who was very complicated. And along with a fabulous team of writers and directors and fellow actors, hopefully we brought that alive.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just with most of the audience, they tend to just have a knee-jerk reaction of dislike.
Absolutely.
Which is a little hectic.
I want to understand the personal journey behind that character, because before this, you were on Isidingo and you were playing the sweet little, almost pushover in some way or form. The good girl.
The good woman, yeah.
And then you shifted to this exact opposite role. First of all, that character was 100% English, and now you've got a 100% Afrikaans character, and that shift. So, two very different extremes. Which one is Jo?
Neither. That's the honest answer. Neither of them are Jo. I'm an actress, so I will play whichever character appeals to me at the time or is most challenging to me at the time. And sometimes, as you know in the business, which character is available at the time, because work is work. But Natasha appealed to me on certain levels, and ultimately, though, she didn't have much more of a story to tell. Whereas Gita became very challenging for me because I am English. So to suddenly work in Afrikaans is a natural challenge. I've loved working in Afrikaans. I've done several things in Afrikaans, and I've thoroughly loved the inherent poetry of the language every time. So it's a challenge for me as an English person to work in Afrikaans. And to get Gita right was challenging. Playing a villain is much more fun than playing the good person. It's much more fun.
Everyone I've interviewed on this couch who's an actor and wants to get involved in like a new project, or we've asked them what their dream job would be to be, it's always to play the villain.
The villain is great. You just got to take the knocks.
Yeah.
You just got to take the knocks of it.
Yeah. So in terms of the character traits, I mean, who is Jo Da Silva, and what are the similarities that you're starting to find, or the things that you're really struggling to connect with when it comes to playing a character like Gita?
Oh, there are no similarities between me and Gita, none whatsoever.
Everyone's like, phew.
So, including my mother.
Okay.
No, there's absolutely nothing. The only connection point I could possibly find with her is that she's passionate about her daughter, and I'm passionate about mine. But her version of unconditional love is very twisted and warped.
I see.
Whereas
very conditional.
She's a bit of a sociopath, so she justifies. She justifies all her behaviour. She constantly sort of says, "You left me no choice. I had to behave this way because you left me no choice." Whereas I think I'm the exact opposite with my daughter. I'm a very conscious parent, and it's all about choice. So no, she's just a character I've played. The challenge has been to make her real.
Sure. And all obviously cast members know that you're the villain and all the characters in there know you as that. What is the relationship like with you guys behind the scenes? Are you as much a family as you are on air? Because you spend a lot of time together.
It's like any family. We get asked that question so often. Are you guys really good friends behind the scenes? And as with every cast, there are people you get on with and people you don't get on with. Just like in every single family. There's people you connect with and people you don't connect with. So yes, we are very much a family though.
Sure.
Take one of us on and you're going to take all of us on. But amongst ourselves, sure, we have good days and bad days. We spend a lot of time together. We shoot an episode a day. It's not all sweetness and light and fairy tales and unicorns every single day.
Exactly,
the hours
I'm
are
sure.
long, the days are hard. And sometimes we rub each other up the wrong way.
Yeah,
It's
welcome to the
normal.
real world of showbiz.
It's the real world. But we do have each other's backs, that's for sure.
Awesome. I can't wait to chat to you more. There's so much that I want to unpack and you're not going anywhere. So let's talk a bit about your personal life next, okay?
Sure.
Awesome. So we'll be back with Jo a little bit later on in the show. So if you want to share your story, if you're a single mother or just want to share love stories, you're welcome to call us on 083 913 3728. 083 913 3728. But after the break, we're in the kitchen making a no-bake cheesecake and Bonnie gets some winter wellness tips from Dr. Chamendran and Don't go anywhere. A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. So yes, I said it's a hump day, and I know it's only Wednesday, and everyone is crawling towards that weekend. The only thing, and I'll tell you the real only thing that gets me towards the weekend and gets me in the mood again, is a really delicious dessert. And so Clem has got us making a no-bake cheesecake today, but a black and white one, which I don't even know how that even works, Clem, because cheese is white, everything is white. I don't know how you're making it. Oh, I see. All makes sense to me right now.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so how do we do this?
So starting off with, we got these like black and white cookies. Cool. I'm gonna ask you to give them a good bashing. How's
Oh,
that?
I'm keen on that.
So I got a bag over there for you. I'm using like a roasting bag or I nearly
Roasting bags are just nice and hardy, by the way. So if you want to use a
Really
normal
are.
plastic bag, you can, but usually they just tend to break and crack and things. And if you're going to be as aggressive as I'm going to be, it's always good to use something that's slightly hardier. Can I just...
Go for it. I was gonna say if you're really
All right.
fancy and
To
you-
all those bullies
Okay.
in high school, to all those people who were mean to me when I was small. This is for you. I'm kidding. I was fine. I
Yeah, it's
wasn't
quite
bullied.
aggressive.
I know.
Take it down the
Ah, you see what happened, Clem.
You know what? I'm not gonna comment on that because I totally knew something like this would happen. So I actually got some done ahead of time.
You, every time. You've made
Every
me
time.
punch myself on the show, pinch myself on the show, and now you've made me look like I don't even know how to keep a bag together. on the
I just
show.
had a tweet came through. Danilo cannot even.
Bashed cookies.
What's up with that? Anyway, it's fine. Okay, cool. So you get them like nice and broken up. Use the bag, or if you have a processor, blitz it up in a processor.
Good plan.
Job done.
Cool.
Cool. So I've got some malted butter in here, and I'm gonna pass this back to you. How about you mix that through?
Are you sure it's safe with me?
I'm gonna try.
Nothing's gonna break. You haven't given me like a cracked bowl or like a spoon that's gonna snap in half.
No, go for it.
I
So
know,
the idea
don't-
is that this is gonna be the base of our cheesecake.
Oh, yum. Like, you don't usually have you usually have another crushed cookie at the bottom.
It's, yeah, absolutely. Like almost like
Tennis
a
biscuit almost.
or a digestive style biscuit.
Yes.
We're gonna go with the black version, which is this biscuits over here.
And it's so nice. The
It
smell already
is.
from this is
It
delicious.
You know what's quite strange, right? You know this whole trend about sweet and salty combinations together?
Yes.
If you actually taste this black and white cookie, it's got a slight salty taste to it as well.
Oh.
Which is like kind of like triggers your brain. Ooh, yummy, salty, sweet. That's why I love it so much.
Okay, you're overthinking this, but okay.
Hey, there's a science to everything. Cool. So I've got these cupcake wrappers over here.
Cool, I'm
if I
done.
can ask, I'm gonna actually bring it over here. Let's do this.
Ta-da! Oh, those
So-
are really cool, actually. You've got nice
Yeah.
little silver ones.
Totally. So, like, what you can do is you can make these ahead of time.
Cool.
But also, what's great is you can make these in the afternoon. They take a little time to set, and they'll be done in the evening.
Cool. So what must I do now?
Cool. So what you do is take your spoon and just add some to the base of your cupcake wrapper.
Oh,
and just
finally,
press it.
something I know how to do.
There we go.
Spoon. I can spoon. That I can do for a living.
I've done absolutely nothing so far.
You didn't even get my joke. It's fine. Don't worry
No,
about
I
it.
didn't
Everyone
want
at
to
home is
comment.
laughing.
Go for it. Cool. So
Is that
then
too
use-
much? Far too much.
That's way too much.
Cool. Split it in half. It's fine.
Absolutely going to do that. So get them in your cupcake wrappers
Mm-hmm.
and just press them down. And because of the butter in there, it's going to sit up.
Which is
Obviously,
nice.
once it's been in the fridge for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to get started on our cheesecake filling.
Cool. Go for it. I'm going to
the-
finish filling these up and I'll push them in for you.
Go for it.
You can just show everyone how to do the rest.
So cheesecake's got to have cream cheese, right?
Yeah, boy.
Get it out of there. So because I don't want to have it just sweet, I want to add a bit of a tart note to it.
Okay.
So if you can pass a creme fraiche over there.
Yeah, is this creme fraiche?
Creme fraiche. So
Okay.
what this does is that this just adds that classic cheesecake flavor, that slight tart bitterness.
Tang.
Yeah,
Mm,
that
twang.
tang. That's what the creme fraiche does. But obviously, if you're a bit worried about the tang and you can't handle the tang,
Just leave it out.
leave it out.
Okay,
Can you
cool.
pass some icing sugar?
Icing sugar.
And then that goes in.
That's the sweetness, I guess.
So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you whip it or beat it well enough to kind of take that graininess out of the icing sugar. Even though it's a powder form, you still get a bit of that grit in there when you're busy eating it, right?
Nice. And so obviously the idea of having it a no bake means it doesn't need to go into the oven, doesn't need to cook, it just needs to set. So it's a colder, it's almost like a fridge cheesecake.
It is. And traditionally, I don't even think it's called a cheesecake, you know?
Which I love the most about those kinds of cheesecakes because I'm not a big fan of oven baked cheesecake. I just think it's not as twangy and delicious and
No,
like.
I'm sorry. I'm an absolute traditional, like, New York style cheesecake person. But the thing is, to be honest, it's really expensive to make.
Yeah.
And it takes about 3 months to make. So this is like a real, like, easier way to do it. So
Quick
what I'm
and
going to do
easy
is I'm going to add a little extra flavor in there. I've got a chocolate sauce.
Oh, yum.
You can totally melt some chocolate over a double boiler. We know that the double boiler, which is
Yes.
a pot over another pot of simmering water.
Cool.
Just melt the chocolate. But I mean,
Use dark chocolate. I think that would be a nice combination.
Oh,
to use the
absolutely.
dark chocolate.
Go crazy. You know what will also work? White chocolate. Seeing as we're playing around with chocolatey flavors, that'll be awesome. So you get
Yeah,
an
I've
amazing
done well.
job. I'm
Thank
really
you so
impressed.
much. I'm really good at spooning and pressing.
Oh my goodness. No.
Don't even get them.
Cool. So this is part 1 done. When we come back in part 2, we
Gonna
just
combine.
gonna add the filling to the base, a little bit of extra drizzle of chocolate. And then we
You're giving away our secrets, Clem. Don't give away our
I'm
secrets.
sharing. I'm sharing.
We want all of you to stay right where you are because soon we'll be giving you the final touches on our no-bake cheesecake, but the black and white version. Bonnie's on standby to chat about wellness over the winter period.
Welcome to the Fresh Pack Natural Goodness series. When it comes to our health, we all need the reassurance that we're making the right choices for ourselves and for our families. Fortunately, with the natural goodness of Fresh Pack, you can rest assured your everyday health is in good hands. In cold weather, we all want to snuggle up indoors, eating and drinking comfort foods. But this is a time we should be mindful of our well-being, as our immune systems are more vulnerable and our bodies have to work harder to stay healthy. Joining us today to give us some tips on keeping a sense of well-being during winter is medical practitioner Dr. Chamendran Naidu. Welcome back to the loft.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to pour us some tea.
Yes, please.
So when it comes to well-being, what areas of our lives are most important that we should be checking into first?
Well, I think a healthy body, a healthy mind, and to keep your body healthy, the pillars are good sleep, good nutrition, and exercise.
That's pretty much basically like got it waxed.
It's that simple. Good sleep, good nutrition, exercise.
It's winter, it's cold outside, and the last thing people want to do is get off their couch and get active.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for us maintaining active throughout winter?
If you have any tips for me, that would be nice. No, I'm joking. The nice thing about exercise is it makes you feel good. It increases your body temperature, and during these cold months, you really, really want to be increasing your temperature to feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
To get out of bed, however, that's another story. So what I like to tell patients is get a gym partner or an exercise buddy if you just want to go running if it's not raining, or, I mean, if you can brave the rain, that's good too. The other option is if it is raining, to just exercise in the house, and that's a nice way of having a family bonding session.
Another issue is nutrition. How do we stay in line with our health goals while wanting to eat copious amounts of comfort food?
Now that's a very, very big problem because it's so easy to just go into the snack den and then just take something out when you're not going out.
Yeah.
So in that lies the key. If you just have less snacks in the house, or replacing those sweet and unhealthy options with something more healthy,
Something
which is
cold
equally
and
enjoyable.
healthy.
Well,
Instead of warm and fuzzy
you can
like
have
lasagna.
warm healthy too. You can have warm healthy too, like rooibos. Rooibos you can have warm, you can have cold, and it's packed with antioxidants, and you're always keeping yourself hydrated.
Apart from focusing on our nutrition, how can we keep well hydrated in winter? Why is that important?
It's so important because the air is a lot drier. Oftentimes we think of summer months being more dehydrating because we're more active, we're sweating a lot,
course, yeah.
but the air is drier, so it's more those imperceptible losses. Oftentimes we're indoors, so we've got the air conditioning blowing on warm,
Yeah.
and it actually sucks up a lot of moisture. And because we don't see it as being hotter, we don't actually consciously drink water and hydrate. Now it's very, very important to keep hydrated because all those microcellular environments and events that happen in your body require water.
Can rooibos ease the discomfort of colds and flus?
You see, the basis of colds or flus happening during winter is the fact that it dries out your mucous membranes and it makes you very susceptible to whatever's going around. Also, you're always sneezing, you've got this runny nose, and so you're losing a lot of fluids. Dehydration is a very big problem. And in order to replace those fluid losses, you have to drink something. Now, I love rooibos. Rooibos is superior to water because you're not just replacing the water component of it, but you're also giving the added minerals, as well as the fact that it's naturally sweetened, it's sugar-free, and there's no caffeine.
You mentioned flavors. Which flavors are better in winter?
Well, it really depends on your inkling, but I like the honey and the lemon flavor, but it also comes in cranberry and pomegranate, watermelon and mint, and it really just depends on what you like.
Yummy. Thank you so much for joining us again and sharing your tips with us.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, Fresh Pack Rooibos is all about choosing the healthy way with so many delicious flavored options to choose from, like honey, lemon, watermelon and mint, and cranberry and pomegranate. It's so easy to enjoy all the beneficial antioxidants, no caffeine, and of course the natural goodness of Fresh Pack Rooibos. And it's delicious served hot or cold. Until next week, keep yourself and your family happy, healthy, and enjoying life with the natural goodness of Fresh Pack Rooibos.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. I'm spending the afternoon today with one legendary actress. Jo Da Silva joins us in the loft, and previously we were speaking about your career on Laan and the sort of move, and everyone's very upset about you leaving. I got a whole bunch of tweets, people asking for your input on like what's going to happen between you and Marco, but we'll leave that all for people to enjoy on the soapy. I really want to tackle your personal life. You're not on Twitter. You keep your personal life quite personal. And I don't know if a lot of people know about your struggle with cancer that you had a few years ago. Talk us through that journey. That must have been life-changing. Change your priorities.
Well, it does change your priorities very quickly. It was more than just a few years ago, actually. It's 19 years now. And I've always said about it that it's nothing I would wish on my worst enemy, but I would wish the learning of it on my best friend.
Sure.
Because it is something that changes your priorities overnight, very, very quickly.
Sure.
You make up your mind about your values and the kind of life you want to live and who you want in your life and why. And it was I think it's more difficult for the people who love you, because when it's happening to you, you're the one fighting. You're the one dealing with the doctors and you're the one dealing with the process, but your loved ones feel so incredibly helpless. And that for me was actually hardest, was watching them fight.
Yeah.
I was in it, so... You know, I
had no other choice.
I had no choice, but for them to be so helpless, it's incredibly hard for the loved ones of people who are fighting cancer. And I was one of the lucky ones. I had a very successful result. Mine was diagnosed very quickly. I had a surgical result. I've been cancer-free ever since. But
amazing.
it still is such a turning point in my life that my heart breaks for people who are fighting it on a daily basis.
If anything, compassion is the first lesson that you've learned.
Compassion. And stop being scared of the word. You know, in the old days, people used to go,
Yeah.
nonsense, talk. You know, don't treat people like they're fragile and about to break. They need to speak about what's happening to them.
Yeah.
And their family needs support, and their friends need support. So it's not something to be whispered about.
So from your own experience, what were those lessons that you learned, and what do you wish other cancer, maybe survivors or people who are suffering at the moment, or families who are suffering around somebody else who is ill, what would be your words of advice? What are the lessons that you learned?
The only thing you wish for is time. Not money or fame or material goods of any kind, it's time. I can remember that I wrote to my daughter letters that would see her through, hopefully to her wedding day and beyond, because I wasn't sure that I was going to be there. Sure. And that was an incredibly difficult process for me. And when I got to 5 years being cancer-free, I actually burnt them all as a sort of ritual for myself, that it's okay, I'm going to be there in person and I can do this myself. So time. You know, value your relationships, prioritize them, and give them everything you have, because that is more important than anything else will ever be. Everything else is
secondary.
Admin. It's admin.
Hence why I don't think it was such a hard, long, arduous decision to leave a big soapy like Chamendran, because I think your priorities are elsewhere, and there's more to life than each little individual journey. And you mentioned your daughter a few times now. I'd really like to unpack that, because to be a single mother, I think, must be one of the most growing experiences, but at the same time can become one of the most lonely experiences. And every woman that I've spoken to from our communities in South Africa, I've seen majority are single-handedly raising children. And it must be very difficult for you to be able to say, I have what it takes to raise a daughter by myself. What is your relationship with her like? And what is it like to be a single mother?
Well, firstly, being a single mom is not for wussies. It's not for the faint of heart.
It's not for your previous characters.
It's not for the faint of heart. And secondly, my daughter's done an incredible job of raising me.
Okay.
She's done a really good job of raising me. I'm very proud of who she has become as a woman. And as any parent will tell you, not just single parents, but your children teach you. They teach you patience, and they teach you selflessness, and they teach you to put other things ahead of yourself in raising that human being. And it becomes about what kind of human being do you want them to be. The single mother part is obviously hard. But we were discussing in the break, I think I might say something controversial now, no doubt, but I think single mothers do get more support than single fathers do.
That's not controversial at all. I think it's
communities
absolutely the case.
sort of rally around single mothers more naturally, and women tend to create bonds of sisterhood more easily than men do. I think single dads, and there's a lot of them out there trying very hard to do a good job, don't get as much support as single moms do.
Yeah.
We have a natural sisterhood with other women,
Yeah.
and I have my mum, and there's an inbuilt community for single moms of a natural support. It just kind of it follows on. Doesn't mean it's easier. It just means that we do get more support, whereas men have to sort of tough it out, you know.
Yes, yeah.
Men
I
don't
feel
cry.
anything.
No, men don't cry, and men are supposed to cope, and they don't easily ask for help, and they don't easily get it.
Exactly, so it makes the job a lot more difficult. And I love the fact that you've mentioned that you've got a really good relationship with your daughter and open to her teaching you things in the same process as you're trying to teach her life lessons and guide her through her journey. She's now studying at UCT. Has she ever felt like you've come home and brought Gita home with you?
Oh, never. She would laugh at me if she did. Or she'd smack me, one of the two.
Like the fans who want to come through the screen.
Unfortunately, they want to smack me for real, which isn't so great. I have been smacked and spat on and pushed and shoved and called Satanskind, and entire church communities praying for me. Not Joe, Gita.
Yeah.
So that's a little scary. No, Caitlin wouldn't. I mean, she'd laugh at the idea. You know, she's grown up. Her father's also an actor. When she was very little, in fact, she found it very odd. She came home from school one day to say to me, "Do you know that so-and-so's mom's a doctor?" She was kind of, you mean parents do other things? She thought it was quite odd that all these children who were at school with her, their parents weren't actors.
Yeah.
So she's grown up with us being in the industry and watching us both be many, many different characters. And if either of us had to try and bring it home, she'd point and laugh, quite frankly. She said, "What on earth are you doing?"
I think all actors' children grow up to be really strong personalities, strong people and strong women, which is exciting to see. Talk me through your love of theatre, because I know that soapies are such a nice safe space. You mentioned this before, for actors to find themselves. It's consistent work, it's regular work, it's exciting characters, they're always dynamic and changing. But you have this massive love for theatre, and not recently, I'm sure it's been throughout your whole life, but love for education too, and trying to fuse those two. Is that what you're going to dive all your energy into now that Seven de Laan is
I think it's definitely one of the paths I'm going to be following and investing a lot of time and energy into. Theatre's the beginning. No one saves you in theatre. You know, we refer to theatre as our church as actors. For me, actors are divided into two. There's celebrities and there's actors. Decide which one you want to be.
True.
When you're an actor, no one gets to yell cut and say take two or take three and save you in a moment. You have to hold an audience in the palm of your hand for an hour or two, take them on a journey and have them believe you, make them laugh or cry with you. And if you forget your lines, you're on your own. Your fellow actor can sometimes help you, sometimes they can't. But you have to sustain that belief for a period of time. Whereas, especially in the world of soap, it's a 2-minute scene, and if you have to take 7 takes to get it right, you do 7 takes to get it right. So be it. You know, there's always someone to save you in cut and paste. It's a cut and paste medium, so you edit it all together and it looks good. Whereas theatre really is the beginning and the ending of the training. And it's the beginning and the ending of the magic. And when you add that with youngsters and you use theatre in education and you watch them grow and become and discover, it can be used in so many ways as a therapeutic tool, not just as the result being theatre, but theatre being one of the things that ends up happening while they discover so many other things about themselves. It can be very empowering. And over the last 5 years, I've had the privilege of working with a lot of children and watching them create productions and put productions together, and it's pure joy.
Yeah, they're literally putting their hearts and souls out there, and you can just see...
It's pure joy to watch them discover something, to watch them realise a moment, to realise that you were privileged enough to be part of that. And every time I've been involved with them, I've always gone away saying, I ended up learning far more than I think I taught them.
Okay.
That's the joy.
Is that where your career is going to be moving now that you've moved away? Is it going to be all into theatre?
The delight now is that I'm back to being a freelancer. And I was a freelancer for 17 years before I joined Chamendran and Laan. So yes, there's no longer that stability and that regularity of a particular character and a particular income, but now I'm going back to the beginning, which means as a freelancer, I now have that diversity and those options and those choices, not just of different characters, but of doing all the things I loved before, being a voice artist, being a teacher, being a director, being a creative, being involved in so many different things on so many different levels. I once again have the freedom of choice, as opposed to just being locked into one thing. And Gita was a beautiful journey, but that season's over for a time now.
Sure. Your fans love you so much. And we've got a phone call from Ronnie. Ronnie, welcome to Afternoon Express. How are you?
Good day. Hi, Danilo. Thank you so much for having me.
Such a pleasure. What is your comment?
Oh, I just want to say to Jo, Gita, I am probably one of your biggest fans. My late husband and I, we loved you in East Dingo, and he since passed away. But I tell you, Chamendran and Laan is quite an experience. I mean, it's not Chamendran and Laan without you, and we are really, really going to miss you. And I hope we're going to see you on the little screen again, because it's not going to be the same. Chamendran and Laan is going to be a total washout unless they bring someone else. You are such a wonderful actress. You are such a wonderful person. I loved you as almost a baggy when you were hiding away from the police, to this glamorous woman that you've come back to. And I watched you on the screen today, and you're so glamorous. Unbelievable. How do you do it?
Ronnie, wow. Thank you so much for your comments. Really, really appreciate you giving us a call. I mean, even I'm getting emotional because it's...
That was lovely. Thank
what
you.
a journey it has been for you. It really, really has. And such a nostalgic experience coming to be here with you today. And we'll chat to you a little later on the show, all right?
Thank you.
Sure. Stay right where you are, South Africa. After the break, it's time for Winner Home on Afternoon Express. We'll be right back after this. Winner Home on Afternoon Express, where 3 design contestants are turning 3 empty properties at Valdevie Estate in the Cape Winelands into dream homes using finishes provided by Caesarstone and Plascon. Vote for your favorite and you could win. Yes, that is right. It's time for Winner Home on Afternoon Express. And did you know that you can increase your chances of winning that grand prize apartment if you buy any Plascon product and SMS the keyword Plascon, the last 6 digits of that barcode, and your full name to 32979. This puts you in line to win a golden ticket, which allows you to be one of the finalists in the grand prize competition. T's and C's do apply. Today, we once again on the couch for our weekly private property chat, where we take a look at a breathtaking home and its surroundings. But before we get into that, our Winner Home contestants recently met up with their mentors to discuss plans for their kitchens. Let's see what they have up their sleeves. Team Old Decorations Minentla and Bell Bellingham have big plans for their kitchen.
Looking at the trends, the kitchen space is becoming a place where people want to show off their talents and they want to have fun and show off their cooking skills with whoever interacting with in the dining area or the lounge area. Picking up from the concepts I had in the other rooms, the industrial steel, having exposed storage, which is also going to act as a decorative element just to bring life into the kitchen and maybe slotting some plants in there. I've also taken into account the ergonomic triangle, which sort of limits the steps one takes in the kitchen. So everything is close to you, from the cleansing to the cooking area up to the fridge. So what I'm doing with the flooring is I'm using it as an element to define my spaces. So I'm using different flooring in the kitchen area compared to the rest of the open plan space. So I saw an opportunity of creating a feature where the two meet. So I created this nice pattern, transition pattern. So it's definitely something to look forward to.
I love the veneer you've chosen. I love the palette, and I think in terms of a resale and an investment point of view, it's, I wouldn't say safe. I think there's kind of nuanced brilliance in it, but it's not going to offend anyone, so I think that's great. Maybe what you can do is bring in a bit of color, again, to express the personality. Think about the people that are in this kitchen. I think the best thing about kitchens now, you don't have to take them so seriously. So you've got your structure, your exquisite skeleton, so now you can kind of play a bit. Think about the lady, maybe in terms of your exposed storage, what are you going to put there? So I think you're on your way. I think if anything, just stay in close contact with one design, make sure that they understand your vision. Your exposed storage, what are you going to put there?
Even though Rudolph's mentor, real estate's Michelle Snadden, is currently in London, the two are still meeting up thanks to the Wi-Fi at Val de Vie. Rudolph has concerns regarding not having a formal dining area, but Michelle is not worried. She says the central island plays an important role as it pulls out from the main kitchen area, and with the beautifully contemporary bar stools, she feels Rudolph is creating a real designer kitchen/dining room area in the open living space.
Thanks for all the advice, Michelle. I really appreciate that. Enjoy London.
Meanwhile, Joanne and Sumine Brink of Team Vizi are relishing a little shopping inspiration.
Wow, that was fun.
I know. I love shopping.
So all our other spaces are very neutral and relaxed and minimalist, but for our kitchen and our living spaces, where all the energy is, we're going for a more dramatic effect.
I am so happy that you're going for dark. Dark kitchen cupboards are very on trend at the moment. We've been sitting with oaks and light woods for such a long time, so it's a new thing. It looks very sophisticated and it contrasts beautifully with white. You can create a lot of drama by having piles and piles of light-coloured, whitish ceramics.
How do you think I can bring in some light elements to contrast that?
So I think that it will be a very dramatic look and it will be totally sophisticated. And then you contrast that with a light colour on the wall and obviously your snow white Caesar stone island. Food looks brilliant against white. So whatever you put on that counter is going to shine.
I'm bringing in copper because we're bringing copper into the whole apartment. And appliances, I'm thinking we should go for white to contrast the dark wood. How else do you think we can bring in some light colours?
Oh, I'm so happy that you're doing that because copper is really the trendiest metal at the moment. Gone is the stainless steel and all of those. Copper creates a beautiful glow and any food looks beautiful on it. And it will contrast beautifully with your dark wood and the white counter. I think you've got it wrapped up.
Wow, some pretty interesting ideas then. I do know that Joanne is going to have to put everything she's got into this challenge because Rudolph's won 2, Minentle has won 1 now. It's all up to Joanne to blow us away with that kitchen and her final challenge. Now, moving on to something very interesting that I love doing every single week. Today, we're joined by Anthony Stroebel, Pam Golding's marketing director. He's here to share a breathtaking home situated in the pristine beach town of Camps Bay. Now, I must say, Camps Bay is such a beautiful space to be.
Stunning.
Without the view, like, what more do we need to sell us a beautiful property there? Why is it such a sought-after space, do you think?
Well, because it's a holistic enclave. I mean, it's surrounded by wonderful mountains, 12 Apostles, Lion's Head.
Yeah.
Probably one, I don't know if it is the best top 10 beaches in the world, but I think it should be.
I think it has been listed. I think it has been listed, yeah.
So, wonderful beach. The Strip. The Camps Bay Strip, so you've got wonderful nightlife. And then I think there are nooks and crannies. It's quite an unusual suburb because they're all different kinds of nooks and crannies, different kinds of homes, as opposed to being sort of homogenous. It's quite heterogeneous in terms of a place to live, depending upon what you need.
Everything else in the sort of Western Cape area is sort of segregated into little bits and bobs. Camps Bay's got this...
It's
from
kind of
here to here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
North facing, you know, beautiful views, beautiful sunsets, some best sunsets in the world.
Exactly.
And then I think positioning, close to town, close to Hout Bay, on that beautiful road. So it's highly unusual, I think, in that regard, from a world perspective, not only a South Africa perspective.
You know, I'm very interested in investments, and I keep saying this every week because it's something that fascinates me. It's changing, it's dynamic, it's always new. And Camps Bay, I've always understood to be quite a highly populated area. Lots of property, lots of demand for the space.
Well, there's no more land. So
yeah, well, there's no more land.
Important thing.
Which is interesting. So talk me through why that area is such a good space to invest in. Because aren't people going to move away because it's so populated and busy? Or does this mean that because it's so busy, it's just going to keep growing, invest now?
Well, I think an interesting stat there, Dan, is that more than, and I'll stand to correction, but I think it's more than half of the people have lived there for over 11 years.
Sheesh, okay.
So, and there are only about 1,000 properties. In fact, 700 what we call freehold, and another 300-400 sectional title, which is sort of apartment living. So that's a very interesting stat because it shows that people don't like to leave Camps Bay. So if people don't like to leave, people want to arrive.
And when something becomes available, it's not available for very long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking, we nearly did a deal on the house that we're going to be looking at yesterday. I wish we had done the deal, because it would have made a slightly different story. But and I think another interesting aspect of Camps Bay is that the people that are selling are over 60, more than half of them are over 65.
I see.
And the people that are buying, more than half of them are 35 to 45.
New money.
New money.
Interesting.
So, and the nice thing is it's got that old traditional feel, if you want it, but then what we're going to be seeing today, a very modern feel.
Okay.
So you've got choice, and it's an holistic suburb.
We like choice. Let's look at that property that you brought us today. Stunning. Wow.
Stunning. I want it, but I can't afford it. Okay.
Neither can I, but we'll talk through it anyway.
Okay.
Let's have a look at it.
So, yeah, let's have a look at it. So, I mean, it's an amazing property. I actually went there with Barbara Rogers, the agent, last night. And it's when you walk into it, it's what you feel firstly is the space and the flow.
Yes.
I mean, you know, you can't get a better property than this.
Yeah, the external views are amazing.
From every single room, it's spectacular. And interestingly enough, we were in New York recently, a couple of weeks ago, and we went to 432 Park Avenue, which is one of the leading apartments in New York City, the highly coveted. And we were amazed by the finishes. These finishes here leave that building standing, and you're
Putting
talking
in shame.
$25 million there for a same-size apartment. So it's an incredible property in terms of its finishes. It's brand new. It feels like it's a newly built home.
Looks like that, but it hasn't been. So let's talk through the interiors and the living spaces. What have you got inside this property?
You've got wonderful entertainment areas on the main floor, and it just flows beautifully. The bar, and I'm not a drinker, but even I aspired, it's probably one of the best bars in Camps Bay, because it overlooks the entire bay, and it's a lit bar. The doors open out on all sides.
It's made to entertain.
It's made to entertain. Made to entertain. So you've just got this wonderful flow from bar into lounge into granite kitchens, and it's all incredibly modern. But you know, I'm not a modern kind of furniture guy, but it's modern yet it's got a very warm feel to it.
What about the living spaces? So you've mentioned the sort of kitchen entertainment and those spaces, which are your favorite and going to be my favorite always.
Yeah.
But what about the bedrooms and things?
I mean, they also open up onto these beautiful decks and look over this fantastic bay. So you're on top of the world. You can see 12 Apostles from your bedroom on the left, and you can see Lion's Head on your right. Well, there's the mountain behind you. And then, of course, we're talking about a copper bath. So if a copper bath turns you on, then this is a great house for you.
Oh, man, if any freestanding bath does.
But here's the bedroom looking out onto this deck, looking out over the sea. It's just absolutely spectacular.
What an incredible property.
It's an incredible property.
You know, our design contestants are designing also on a beautiful estate on Valdevie, and they are trying to work out what it is that private property is looking for them to do with these properties. And they're really struggling to add value to these houses. And you've worked in the industry for long enough to know what adds value to a property. Please give our design contestants some advice, because they need this advice from you.
Bathrooms and kitchens
are a big thing.
A big thing. And in this house that we've just looked at, all four are en suite, and they haven't skimped at all. So bathrooms and kitchens, and then spend time in your garden. There's no question that there's a movement worldwide back into nature. So if you've got even apartment living, you can develop a green environment from a growing perspective. That definitely works.
Sure, good advice.
People look for gardens.
Great advice. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us in the loft today.
My
I always
pleasure.
take a lot of stuff from this, and one day when I've decided to get myself a new company, a new job, we'll be buying these properties. You and I. Sure? Deal. Remember to visit privateproperty.co.za for this and much more property inspiration in the neighborhood that fits your needs. While you're there, vote for your favorite design contestant's master bedroom. You only have until tomorrow, so don't waste any more time. We'll be right back.
It's not called Win a Home for nothing. You, the viewer, can win one of the 3 completed apartments at the Valdevie estate, valued at over 3 million rand, by voting for your favorite design contestant's master bedroom on privateproperty.co.za. Win a Home is proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're making a black and white no-bake cheesecake today on the show with Clem Pedro, and I love the fact that our fans have picked onto my terrible humor.
I know,
and
it's amazing.
someone said, Nolan said to me on Twitter that Dan's all about that bass, because I made the base of this thing. So
I think everyone got that.
okay, good. Yay!
Good.
All right, let's finish off our no-bake cheesecake.
So I finished beating up this mixture, and I really am impressed with the way that you did those bases. Seriously.
Cool, I'm glad.
What I'm going to do now is just, I think like a heaping spoonful is enough. Like that. Cool.
Deal?
I mean, if you wanted, you can use a piping bag, but I mean...
Is the reason you're doing this so delicately? Because it seems like all you're doing is scooping it into the thingy, so we can carry on.
Cool. So that's done, right? So what's going to happen is this goes to the fridge for about, I'd say, overnight's best, but really 4 hours is going to be fine. Cool.
Okay,
and the next is going to be squeeze over some chocolate sauce.
Yummy.
Just squeeze.
It just makes it look good. Just be mad, go mental. Get the recipe from our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. Because you don't have overnight to make these set, because we want you guys to enjoy the deliciousness yourselves with us on the show today. We've made a couple here.
We have.
Gita's going to be having to taste one of these. Jo, are you a big cheesecake fan?
Well, I know what I'm having. I just don't know what you guys are eating. This looks fantastic.
So, see, I told you. Everyone's like, I knew she was a villain in real life too. I knew she was. She eats all the cupcakes. And thanks for all your tweets and love that you've been sending us online. Really appreciate all the comments that have come through for Jo today. I'm very excited about tomorrow's show on Afternoon Express because we are giving a really cool competition happening on the show tomorrow. You're probably wondering, we've posted something on Facebook and Twitter of Clem and I and our scarves. We have Lukanyom Dingi joining us in the loft tomorrow. This man was at Menswear Week and I love his work. It's absolutely amazing. He makes scarves, and just to tell you, one value of his scarf is 4,000 Rand.
I know, it's crazy.
So I want to win one. So what we need you to do is go onto our social sites, Facebook, you can comment on the post there, or send us a tweet on Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, showing us how you wear your scarf. So wear the scarf the way you would normally. We've posted our photos there too, so you guys can have a look at what ours looks like. Do your own. You can be winning yourself a 4,000 Rand scarf tomorrow on Afternoon Express. Jo, you inspired a nation, and we thank you for all that you did on 7 de Laan.
Thank you very much.
Keep inspiring through education and through theatre.
I intend to, thank you.
Oh, South Africa, have a good night and happy eating. Bye.
Yummy.
Yummy. I'm just going to go straight for it like this. Oh, you can't.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, we take a look at breathtaking artistic creations by fashion designer Lukanyom Dingi, and we catch up with best-selling fantasy author and comic book writer Lauren Beekers.
The hottest address on TV is Winner Home on Afternoon Express. Proudly brought to you by Private Property in association with Nedbank.
Another feel-good production.
Hi YouTubers, thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to us. Join the Afternoon Express family by subscribing to our channel right here, and we'll keep you up to date with all our recipes and of course our fabulous episodes. Also, feel free to leave a comment and share this video. We do love it when you express yourself.